what we have to understand as women is that we can't force a man to do anything. A lot of women find their value in a man. A man dictates their value. And that's why a lot of times we get lost in relationships, because we're looking for this man to validate our worth. If you meet a man and that man is not showing you any signs that he is wanting to settle down, that he's wanting to, be serious, that he wants marriage, right? He's on the same page as you, right? I guess the first step, and it's a topic for another day, is you knowing who you are. So you going into a relationship or a situation understanding your worth, your values, your principles, everything that you stand by, right? Your boundaries, your negotiables, non-negotiables, etc. You should already have a sense of those things when you meet somebody and you stand on those things. So when you deal with a man who may not be ready for marriage, they may not be ready for a committed relationship. You even have, you have men who may not even necessarily find you attractive or see you as the person that they want to spend the rest of their lives with, which is fine. But it seems like every time that we meet a man, or you have a lot of women that will meet a guy, and they may like the guy. They may think he looks good, he's educated, he, aligns his principles, values, and all of those things, and then they feel like we should be together. And that's not the case. Just like I'm sure there are men that you may date or that you run across, and they may have the package of maybe husband material, right? But you may feel like we're not compatible, right? You may feel like our personalities don't align, and you have the right to say, I'm not feeling this situation, and be able to, I'll say maturely in the relationship or situation, whatever it is that you have going on. This should be before you even get into a relationship, but maturely in that relationship, you have the right to do that. So why is it that with a lot of women, when you encounter a man who may think the same thing, y'all are just not compatible, maybe your personalities clash, or whatever the case is, now all of a sudden the man is the issue, right? And you have a lot to say about the guy because he may deem you not being the type of person for him. So just because you're a good woman and you may be wifey material does not mean that you're meant to be with every man that you encounter. And so you have to understand, even if it's toxic situations where, say it's not just the fact that he may not see himself being with you, but it just could be, again, he's not ready for a relationship, or he's not ready for marriage. He's playing games. It's a lot, he has communication issues. There's so many other things that this guy could have going on, but a lot of women will continue to try to pressure the issue, keep trying to prove to this man that I am the one, that I am going to be your wife. And what you're not understanding is that once a man shows you that I, don't want you, however he shows that, right? It could be the lack of communication. It could be him not spending time with you. It could be the way he treats you. Maybe he's lying to you. He's manipulated you. He's done all these things, right? But you keep trying to pressure the issue. That just lets him know even more so that you're not the person that he wants to be with. Because in his mind, he's like, okay, I know that I've showed myself to this woman and I've done all these things. She knows, and maybe y'all have had conversations about it. You've caught him in things or whatever the situation is, but you still seem to stick around. And that lets him know that you obviously is not going to be the person that I see myself being with. Men want strong women, not so much of masculine women, right? But they want a woman who knows what she wants, who's not going to just go with the flow and take anything from a man because she knows her worth. And the moment that man shows her that, hey, you're not the right person for me, or you're playing games, your words are not aligning with your actions, whatever the case may be, that woman will let him go in a heartbeat. And men know that. They know the type of women that they encounter, the ones that are not going to tolerate or deal with their mess. So you have to know when to let it go. You have to know when to say, hey, I'm not dealing with this. I'm not tolerating, this BS or whatever the case may be. It's okay for you to, ask questions, get an understanding of the situation, but this is not about giving a person chances and allowing that person to string you out over a period of time. You have to know when to let it go. But it falls back on you knowing your worth and knowing who you are. And just to kind of branch out from that as well, what I tend to see in situations is that women tend to be fluent. So they change the way they are with the men that they encounter. Going back to knowing who you are, knowing your principles, your values, and knowing everything that you stand by. You're the same woman no matter who you're with, right? I remember hearing a woman. She was, I think it was a video that I watched online, and she was, saying that she dated this guy who she said took advantage of her, but I mean, she allowed that to happen. She's doing the things that, quote unquote, women do, cooking and cleaning, just being there for him hand and foot, emotionally, mentally, just doing all the things that she felt like she should have been doing as a girlfriend. And, the guy took her for granted, and ultimately the relationship did not work out. So her mindset was, I'm not doing this for men anymore. And I'm not going to be cooking and cleaning and doing all these things and all this stuff that she was saying. And it was just like, oh, so you were only doing that. It was contingent upon the way that this man treated you. Like, that doesn't matter. The way this man treated you, that has nothing to do with you. And that's the thing, what women have to understand, that just because a man, it may not be in a space or place to be in a relationship, or he might have some issues going on, that has nothing to do with you. That has nothing to do with your worth. That has all or everything to do with him and what he has going on. So that should not dictate the type of woman that you are. You should not feel like, oh, I'm not going to do these things. And, what if you get with the next man and he takes something else for granted? Then you're going to say, well, I'm not doing it for men no more either. So when you get with the next man, again, you're a totally different woman. So you're just fluent. You change with the wind. Every man you get with, you're a different woman, and that's not how it should be. You should stand your ground, know who you are, know what you're worth, and that should be the way that you are with any man. Now, if a guy takes that for granted, he is not ready for that, that is his problem. And that's at that point, you have to realize that I'm worth more than that. I'm better than that. And then you have to know when to let it go. My ladies, we are in a new year. It's 2024, baby. We're in the middle of 2024, so we're like halfway through the year. Before we know it, it'll be 2025. Okay, it's all about us leveling up, understanding our worth and who we are, right? Just going back to some of those traditional values and principles, so that we can stop spinning our wheels and just finding ourselves in these situations over and over again. It starts with you, and only you will be able to change the trajectory of your situation. So as the quote says, if you change nothing, nothing changes. Okay, ladies, I'll see you in the next one.